How about that? Let's see. You have to lip read today. Is that better? I'm afraid of dual sound. Yes, we have sound now. That is so weird. Because this is supposed to be talking to that. So weird. Put this back on. All right, good. Well, y'all know the drill with Frito. If you're brand new, here, this is how this works here in Power Tools with Threadland in the Stitchuation room. Single sound. Okay, you guys are good. Awesome. Awesome. All right. I have dual sound. Okay, I'm going to make this work just like this. Single sound. Not, well, it's got to be good now. I've got a single microphone right here, y'all. So I disconnected the other one. Okay. We're good, good, good. Yeah. I don't know. I got it right last time we did it over in this area. Today didn't work out. All right. Thank you, guys. This sounds great. Perfect, perfect. Good, good, good. So I hope you got a chance yesterday to hang out with Keith while he was doing his paper piecing. If you didn't, go back and check out that video for Sophia from Legit Kits yesterday. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And we're getting better at that as well. And that's the reason I got these little microphones, because they come in two. So he had one and I had one, and we could talk and everybody could be heard. So you made it for the live embroidery. Yay, Kathy, glad you're here. Have I been in the sun? I look a little red. I think that's just the lighting. No, I have not. Yeah, Keith was fun. He's getting better and more comfortable in front of the camera and whatnot. And it's just hard for him to remember that. See, in his mind, he's picking up where he left off. And I'm like, you've got to talk to folks and teach them like they've never seen it before. And so he did pretty good. I was real proud of him. Got some good emails. Thank you, Dee Dee, for your email. That was very nice. Keith is awesome. We have a good time. Somebody said he looks like a bull in a china closet because he's such a big person playing with little bitty pieces. He does have a great sense of humor. Thank you all. Yeah, never a dull moment here at Team Thompson. That's for sure. Absolutely. So anyway, today we're going to do I'm going to embroider a towel for the kitchen. I'm going to hang it over the bar on the stove, right? And we're going to be doing the Hoop Sisters Cinco de Mayo sentiments, they call them. And this is it right here. Okay. So I've got a link to these below in the description box if you'd like to pick them up. I'd appreciate it if you'd use my link. You don't have to, but if you do, that helps out the channel a whole lot. And what they have here, they've got a couple of, they got a mug rug, and then they have just a plain taco on a towel. You can see the mug rug has some batting in it and it's quilted, right? As usual. And then holy guacamole, you are awesome. I like that one. And then we have a little chip thing, and we've got these are just little hanging things that you can hang around in your kitchen, which are cute. So if you didn't want to put the little tag on there, you could certainly set a bowl of guacamole like right on the edge of that. That'd be cute on the table, right? So if we take a look at these designs, what you can see like right here, these are fills. These are fill stitches, okay? And then this is a satin stitch right here. So normally when I do embroidery, I will do a no-show mesh cutaway. Well, because this has a fill, you run the risk of getting puckers if you use a very light stabilizer. So we're going to not be doing that. Okay, so let me take that away. There we go. All right, so it's a super cute set of designs, but there was nothing in those sentiments that really, I mean, hang out. I mean, you could make it for somebody else for sure. I want this to hang in my kitchen. So I'm going to customize this, and I'm going to show you how to do this using Brilliance. And in Brilliance Express, not Express, I'm sorry, in Brilliance Essentials is all I'm going to be using. And that's it, just in Brilliance Essentials. So, Brenda, you can't see Keith's eyes under the brim of the hat. Okay, so let me stop that screen. Okay, so I want to show you guys how I'm going to customize this. Yeah, you like the idea of Brilliance Express. Yeah, that's free. Well, Brilliance Essentials is like $139. It's a great deal, and you'll be amazed what you can do with this. And I'm going to show you how simple this is. So I'm going to make sure I have Brilliance up and running, and I do. And I brought in the main mug rug design, but I'm going to put this mug rug design on a towel. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, check this out. Okay. I'm going to share this with you guys. Okay. This is the reason I like to use software, just so I can kind of take a look and see what's going on with this. Okay. And this is the main design. All you have to do if you open up a folder is grab it and drag and drop, and it goes right in. So it says taco about a good friend. And I really like this for a towel. But if I come over here to the objects panel, these are the objects. If you click the little plus sign, if you look at these objects, these are the objects that make up what's on the main screen. Okay. So I'm going to look, we have a placement line for the batting, right? And there is more placement lines. These are all placement lines for different colors of fabric to put down to create the main thing. And then this tacks it all down, right? And then we get into those fill stitches. There's your lettuce and the tomatoes and the hamburger, your taco meat, and the outline for the taco meat. And there we have some cheese. Okay. There is the placement line for the background fabric for the shell. There's the final stitch for this shell. I'm going to add some batting in that because I like a puffy taco. And then here is the inside of the lime, the outside of the lime. There's your little pith. Here are your words. Now take a notice on this. When I click this single stitch here, what I get are all of the stitches for taco and about a good friend, right? And then we have, so this is all one stitch. And if you pop this into an embroidery machine, you would not be able to suss these out and kind of split them up. But that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to split those up and show you how to do that. And then we have the final tack down for the envelope back for the mug rug. Okay, so let me check back and make sure I haven't lost anybody. Okay. Looks good. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Brilliance. All right. So what I want to do, this is really a very cool feature that you can do in Brilliance. Okay. I'm going to come up here to the top menu, and this is the stitch simulator. Okay. I'm going to click on that, and you can grab this little dot right here, and it'll scrub all through all of the stitches that are going to happen, just like this. And this is a real good way for you to see what's going to happen when. You can change thread colors and all that. So let me show you how you do that. Right. So here's all the letters and then the final. Okay. So let's get back here. We're going to go through the O, and it makes a jump right there. I can come back here. So this is go forward and go backwards. We have a stop sign. This is go and pause and go back. So these are individual stitches. So let me do another stitch. There's the first stitch for, let me zoom in real good so you can see. That's the first stitch for that little apostrophe. Let me back up a stitch. I'm going to back these up right there. I want it to stop stitching there. So I'm going to hit stop. And it thinks I want to do a color change. So I'm just going to double click on Isocord Poly Blossom. It really doesn't matter what color. But look over here in the objects panel now. We have split. Taco is one. About a Good Friend is another. Okay. Now, I am going to, you could split this up a couple of different ways. I'm going to keep it really simple. I don't want the About a Good Friend. Okay. I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. Since I have this highlighted, I'm going to hit the delete key and it's gone. I didn't alter the design at all except for the letters. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come up here to the A. This is all in Essentials. You don't need Stitch Artist or anything for this, okay? I'm going to create letters, and it defaults, you get the ABC in the block format, okay? And block is a native font to Brilliance Essentials. There are a couple of fonts that come in it, and another one is block condensed. And this is a little bit skinnier. And that's kind of mimics the other font that we had. So I'm going to, now we've got multi-line over here in the properties. So the properties box makes up the objects. Okay. So if I click the objects, they change, the properties change. Okay. So let me go back down here to my letters, and we're on the letters tab. There's my color tab. Go to letters, and I'm going to change. I'm just going to type right in here over in this box, About a, and I'm going to hit enter. Great Cook. I think I want that G to be, do I want it? I'll do capital C, capital G. How's that? Talk about a great cook. And I'm going to hit set. Look at that. Okay. I want to center this, and it came in centered. So I think it did. I think it did. I'm just moving around with the arrow keys on my keyboard. There we go. That's centered. Talk about a great cook. How about that? That's cool. Right? If you want to change the color for your own benefit, I'm going to use the same. So it's the last color here is 1902 poinsettia. So let's click on this. This is Madeira Poly. I don't think you guys can see this. I'm going to switch my thread to Isocord Poly and go to 1902, just so the colors look the same. All right. Now, so that's how you can change the phrase if you want. That is so cool. Okay, so I want that hanging on a towel in my kitchen. Talk about a great cook. You can change the font. You can change it to whatever you want. Okay, so you could even leave the About A in the original and scrub through the Stitch Simulator until you got to the last stitch on the A right there, and then change this. So you could leave About A just like it is in the original. Whatever you want to do. World is your oyster, right? So now what I want to do is I want to put this design on a towel. I don't want it to be a mug rug. I just want it to be a standard embroidery design on a towel. How am I going to do that? Well, remember we went through all of the little objects that make up what's on the screen. We have a placement line for the batting. What I'm going to do is just hit delete on my keyboard and make it go away. Okay. There is the placement line for the center fabric. I'm going to make that go away. Placement line for the top fabric, make that go away. Placement line for the bottom fabric and the tack down for all of that and make it go away. And now what I have is my lettuce, my tomatoes, right? And now I'm going to come down here, and this is the final stitch for the mug rug. And you can see it leaves a gap right there. Oh, it's not an envelope back, my bad. It leaves a gap right there, and you're supposed to trim it and leave little tabs so you can tuck them inside. And then, you know, you can use like stitch witchery to iron it closed. Well, I don't want that seam on there either. Gone. Now all I have is the design that I want on my towel. And that's it. It's so cool. Okay. And if we look down here at the bottom, we can see the hoop is a 5x7, and this fits. The design itself is 4 5/16 by 6 3/8, and the hoop is a 5x7. So all I need to do now is I'm going to go up to the utility menu. You guys can't see the menu. My streaming software does not allow you to see that for security purposes, which is annoying. And I'm just sending the design over to the Luminaire wirelessly, which is what I did. So that's a very cool thing too. If you have brother or baby lock wireless machines, Brilliance is automatically configured to allow you to send designs wirelessly to those machines that you have with wireless capability. If you didn't have that, then you would use a USB and take it over there. Okay. So that's really cool. That's how you can customize a design and make it your own. It's pretty neat, right? You can definitely, if you wanted to get into, I'll show you too. If you have enthusiasts, I'll show you an even quicker way than scrubbing through. It does open up a whole new world. It's amazing, right? Y'all don't be afraid to tackle those things. Just don't mess with the original, right? Save it as a different thing. So if you have enthusiasts, it's even easier. Let me show you how that works. I'm gonna I wanted to show you this. Is this the one? So I'll show you if you have enthusiasts and you want to change holy guacamole and you want to change out you are awesome. Now you got to have your own font, right? So what you can do with Enthusiast, and Enthusiast has a stitch editor in it. It's very cool. Let me get this big so we can see everything here. So that's a weird stitch. That one right there is kind of weird. What you can do is you can click on your Enthusiast button. You see there's an individual stitch right there with that arrow pointing to it. Click on that, and now you can see all of the individual stitches. So instead of scrubbing through on the stitch simulator, you come down here. I want this I think I want a free form. I'm going to do the free form. I'm going to come down here at the bottom, and I'm going to drag a line up and around to right there and go very slowly. Okay. Just doing this real slow. So I capture, you are awesome. Okay. Like that. See how I've highlighted those individual stitches? I don't like that. Let me escape. Hold on. Click off that. I'm going to do this. Instead of, I'm just going to freeform awesome. And now I don't want to get the stitches that are up. Look here. I don't want to get these up here in the thing. Hold on. Let me do this one more time. I'm going to start down low where I can. Since I started up at the top, I did not have the ability to gather just the stitches under the, there we go. Just like that. I like this better. Okay, I'm going to do awesome. Now that I've highlighted all of the individual stitches, I'm going to hit delete. It's gone. Now I can go back into here, my letters. Okay, I'm going to change my font to something cool. How about a script condensed? And I'm going to do amazing. Grab it on the stitches, not the letter. See, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this. Look at that. You are amazing. And then you can make this as big as you want. Since these are fonts that are native to Brilliance, they will recalculate their stitches just by dragging the box. You could just, like I said, the world is your oyster on this stuff, you guys. Oh, why didn't y'all tell me I wasn't sharing my screen? I need a Yoo-hoo button. No kidding. Sorry about that, y'all. That's what I did. Usually somebody who's watching has my phone number and texts me and says, hey, Elaine did no sound. My phone, I'm on Do Not Disturb. Okay, we'll do it again, you guys. I'm sorry. I'll do it real quick. So I'm just undoing. It'll undo the last 25. Okay, so here's the original design. All right. And you can come up here to this little button. This is Enthusiast right up here. I'm going to get real big. And what it does is it highlights all of the stitches and you can see them now. Start down here. Oh, you got to come up here and click the freeform button or the rectangle. The rectangle is kind of limiting. Let me just grab all of this. Whoop. My mouse is bumping against something here on my keyboard. There we go. And I've highlighted all those stitches and I can hit delete. Okay. And then I can do my letter. Okay. Put that in. Change my font. And that's way too big, right? That 1 inch. These are designs by Juju. Here's a salt and lime. Let's do salt and lime 1/2 inch. There it is. So you get that fun look with different fonts too. See? Lots of stuff you can do. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Such a bunch of slackers. Why didn't you tell her? I know. Y'all text me when things go wrong. But that is so cool to do that, isn't it? So that was with Enthusiast. But with Essentials, all you need to do is scrub through the Stitch Simulator to get rid of that. Okay. So y'all, I would touch the Stitch Simulator, grab the little thing, go all the way through it. Okay. Till I get to right at the end of the R, at the end of the E, there's the H, and you just go back a bunch of stitches right there and hit stop. And then you change your color. Okay. And then go in and get rid of that color. Whatever. I hit the wrong one. Control Z, this color. You can do that. Very easy to do. Very, very easy. Okay. So I've had all kinds of trouble this morning, y'all. You're trying hard to import your Juju fonts into Brilliance, working on it again. Advice, welcome to get them to stick. You're like, Becky's so funny. She says, I was laughing, explained to my husband, Becky's going to town, talking her head off, and there's not a thing going on. She's not paying any attention. That's right. Okay. You guys are definitely learning how not to do a vlog, right? All right. So to get Brilliance BX fonts to stick, be sure you have unzipped the file. And the one that you want to put in there has that funny little arrow on it. I'll show you guys. So maybe I can. I don't know. Embroidery. I want to go to fonts. Hold on. I'm not sure. I need to show you this particular folder is what you need to look, not the Brilliance. Let me share the folder just a second. So in my folder here, I have I have a folder called BX Import Master Fonts. Okay. These are all of the BX fonts that I have. When I double click them, they all have that little arrow with a needle. Okay. A BX font, and that's what you're talking about for use in Brilliance. This BX font will have this. If you're looking at it and it doesn't have that little font, that's not going to work. That little icon, they're not going to stick. So I keep this BX Import Master Fonts folder. I have it backed up to the cloud. So if my computer crashes, I don't lose all my fonts. All you have to do is highlight. I highlight the first one, and then I scroll all the way to the end. Okay. And I hold my shift key down and highlight the last one if I can. I've got a window in the way that won't let me grab those bottom two, y'all. And then in Brilliance, okay, so I've highlighted those. I wish I could do where I could show you all three screens at once. You just you open Brilliance and just drag and drop those onto the yellow screen, and they're in. That's it. So anyway, okay, so let's go do some embroidery, shall we? We're half an hour into this and I haven't even started stitching. So anyway, that's what I do. But be sure, yeah, it's a great idea to have a folder with your BX fonts. You always want to do that, okay? What I do is I unzip the folder and I grab the BX font in its basic format with where it has that little arrow and the needle, okay? Grab that and put it in my master BX fonts folder file. And then you can import, there's over 200 and some fonts in there. You can grab them all at one time and just drop them right back into Brilliance. And I want to make sure that you see what I see. Okay. All right. Vicky says, I love Embroidery Thursday. All right, y'all. I am going to go over to the other camera and we're going to hoop and then we're going to stitch. Okay. How do you back it up to the cloud? Great question. Different day. We'll go over that. Okay. That's a thing on your computer. So, okay. Let me add that in. There's where I'm fixing to go. And I'm going to remove this. Check. There you go. Yep. Okay. Good now. Good. I'm going to use the sound on the MacBook. All right. First thing I need to do is hoop. Now, Remember when we went through the objects panel? You guys, I need to bring you all up a little bit. When we went through the objects panel on Brilliance, I said that there was a lot of satin stitching. So normally what I will do, if I'm stitching on no-show mesh, or I'll use no-show mesh when I'm doing like a blanket stitch, where that's not very dense, okay? It's a line and, you know, it's just a really lightweight stitch. When you're using satin stitches, you're right away, you're opening up yourself for puckering. And I'm leery about puckering as always. Now, one of the things I did do when I was in Brilliance last night, when I was setting this video up, is I printed out my design, and this is Dimes. This is on Dimes print and stick target paper. Works great. I have to use mine in the individual feed on the back of my printer. That seems to work really well. Okay. So what Brilliance does, it gives you a crosshair, okay, which is nice. All right. So that way I can stick this right on the fabric and I know where it's going to fit. Now, one of the things I need to do is to trim it down because it's pretty big. So easy enough. I'm just going to rough cut this. Want to make sure to keep my little crosshairs that are sticking out so I can find center easy enough. But this is pretty easy to do, okay? I love this print and stick target paper. You know, it's so much better to actually see what it is, where it's going to go. I'm just such a visual person like that, okay? Now, I do have a magnetic hoop here from Dime. I've got a Target sticker, which is cool. I just stuck that on there. I don't pay any attention to that. This is a Brother magnetic hoop. I'm not using that one. And this fits in the 5x7. See? So it fits. We saw that on the screen. It fits in the 5x7. So, okay. All the links are below in the description box. Now, because this has satin stitching in it, I'm not going to use the no-show mesh. I want to use a tearaway, okay? I'm going to take my sticker off. Got links in the description box to all this stuff. And I think a magnetic hoop would work fine. Maybe. I don't want to chance it. So I'm just going to use my old standard hoop. Okay? Just a standard hoop. So I'm going to take a piece of this a piece of this tearaway. Got my holy guacamole one here too. Okay. Take the tearaway and where's my rotary cutter? And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use 2 pieces, not 1, 2. Okay. Just to be sure I don't get any puckers. Better too much than not enough. This is a medium weight tearaway. Put this in here. All right. Now I need to put, this isn't rocket science, y'all. I can see the line from the manufacturer where center is. Okay. And I'm looking for my little tag. And that's here. So there's the bottom. All right. I'm going to make a little band out of probably this fabric. It'd be cool. We'll do that tomorrow. So I'm just going to get the backing off of this. When you wash the towel, it will loosen the stitches. It might. Yep. Okay. You want to hold on to these because this stuff sticks on everything. So I just want this to be like right about here. I've got the camera in the way. I want to just make sure it's straight to me because I'm the one who's going to be looking at it all the time. Okay, right there. Cool. So doing a magnetic hoop is a lot easier I know not all of you have them, so I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, which I don't care for, but I'm taking one for the team, you guys. So you want to get that paper kind of smushed in there so that it doesn't jump around on you. And put this on here. Make sure, see, I don't have to get it exactly even because I can, I've got the crosshair on it. I don't have to get it totally straight. It doesn't matter because I'm going to move it around on the screen so it works. I mean, I think it's fairly straight. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not centered at all. Look at that. Okay. Let me pull it over just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Ta-da. I need that little screw tool from Brother. Where is it? What did I do with it? Maybe it's over here with my on my multi-needle. Yep. Okay. We got a new person, Linda. Welcome. You can't believe I didn't iron out the crease on the towel first? Oh, fine. It's going to get covered. No big deal. I like that crease. I know it keeps me straight. Okay, so we're nice and taut on the hoop now. Okay, that's good. And if I pull the sticker off, I could do kind of a plow test and see I don't have a lot of extra room in there. This looks good. I'm ready to go and stitch it. Okay. I can iron it afterwards. It'll be fine. Now, I notoriously do this every time. I should have had the majority of the towel draped over and loaded it upside down. I'm not unhooping and doing it again. Okay. Why do I need to print the whole design? Can't you just use the Target sticker since the design has a cross? Yeah. So you can, you got to measure. Well, it just prints like that. And then what I can do, what I do with my Target sticker. Oh, here it is. I'll show you guys. Okay. Here's my Target sticker. Now you can pull this up. This stuff is sticks. Oh my goodness. Right? Hold it back if you want. And you can put a Target sticker right there. So that that's center and straight. Either way works. Okay. Now I've pulled it. Now it's loosey goosey. See? I love magnetic hoops. So if you do, I'll just put this, you guys, I'm winging the spacing on this here. But I know the towel is straight. I can tell the towel is straight because of the alignment lines on the inside of the hoop and here. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine. Just leave the Target paper and call it a day. All done. Yep. Yeah, I enjoy previewing the entire design. It just makes me feel better. I know it's going to stitch out right. Okay. So the first thing that's going to stitch, if I remember correctly, was the little lettuce, right? And I've got all my threads already. You do need to have some kind of Target sticker, crosshair, or something. You've got to go ahead and rehoop upside down. Now, y'all, I am not as nitpicky about stuff because in the end, it turns out just beautiful. Okay. Alrighty. Button. I need to get you guys down here so you can see. Yeah, I really rely on the print and stick target paper. It just, that way I know it's going to fit. I know it's going to look right. Let me make sure I don't have anything going on back here. Okay. You can use some little clips and clip this up if you want, okay, to keep it from getting caught up underneath. Matter of fact, I think I will. I have a little clip here. Okay. I'm going to go to embroidery. You guys can't see for the glare. Hold on. Okay. There we go. All right. I'll go to the pocket for memory, and I sent it over wirelessly. And I called it taco. Where is it? There it is, right there. Set. I need to, let me go to embroidery. I'm going to go to layout and move. I need to make sure the first stitch is over that target sticker. So I'm going to move it. You can also hit the W button up here on the top, and it'll give you a downward directed crosshair. And then you can, I'll show you, where's my button? Get in. So you can see the crosshair. That's right. Perfect. Okay, that's it. Great. Okay. So now I'm going to take this off, and that looks good. I'm going to tell it okay. And get out of layout. And the first thing it's telling me here is we're going to do the little lettuce. So I need to do a thread color change. What did I choose? Let's see. That's the line. That's the line. This can be the lettuce. Yep. Okay. All right. This is 40 weight. This one is Dime's Exquisite thread. And then I have a 70 weight bobbin. Okay. Tie it off at the top. And to open those those tension discs up. And if my theory was all right, we shouldn't have any puckering in the lettuce. If it was right, we shall see. 2 layers of stabilizer, Jean. I'm using 2 layers because I've got some heavy fills and I don't want it to pucker. So on the towel I did, it's in the wash right now. So if a digitizer uses something called a sketch design, that's very open weave. Like the designs from like Purely Gates, where she uses the Mylar behind all of her designs. She uses sketch designs, and that's a wide open stitch, and you don't get a lot of puckering with that, but the stitches are close enough together that it looks like a shading of the color. In this, we're doing straight up fill stitching, and a fill stitch can give you a lot of puckering. So if you don't have the right stabilizer. So in this stitch here, you can see it did an underlay. See how wide open that is? That's an underlay. And it's going to have other stitches on top of it. You can print on regular copy paper. You certainly can. All right, Angie, enjoy your day. But you guys, look, I'm not getting a single pucker on this thing. Looks good. Yes, and Brilliance can print a snowman. It sure can. My Luminaire has issues recognizing snowman. I don't know why. The 10 needle does not, but my Luminaire's, it's iffy. Yeah. Okay. Next are the tomatoes. Actually, these are kind of sketch. I didn't realize that. They're not as densely filled as I thought. I could have gotten away with probably with one piece of stabilizer. I got pretty red for the tomatoes. Now I am going to go back and forth on a couple of the, when it comes down time to put the taco fabric down, I'm going to do batting under it. It's not calling for that, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the needle plus minus to move back and forth in the stitch order to do it more than once. Oh, and you got a loop, really? No, I'm not putting anything on top. You only want to put something on top if you have a nap, like a toweling, you know, where it like a fuzzy towel, a bath towel type thing. You don't have to have anything on top. No, you don't need that because this particular towel, this is like a tea towel, bar towel type. The stitches, the whole point of something on top is so that your stitches don't embed down inside of a nap. That's the whole point. What's next? Hamburger, taco meat. Okay. I've got taco meat right here. Yeah, if you've got clothing, like a sweatshirt, that's a thick enough material. You would want something on top, a topper, but on this you don't. So that's why I say all the time, know your textiles. Okay, so that makes a difference. Sometimes the loop goes and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, if you're thinking, if this was a hand towel, I would do a topper on it, sure. And if you're not sure, you can use knockdown stitches. You sure can. That saves headaches. Absolutely, Diane. If you're not sure, you guys need to get your compass, embroiderer's compass. Yeah, if you're not sure, you guys need to get an embroiderer's compass. This is also from Designs and Machine Embroidery. This is the late, great Deborah Jones. She just passed last August. And it'll tell you, so like on your sweatshirt, it tells you what kind of stabilizer. So this says sweatshirt right there. Okay, and it says no show mesh or medium cutaway, water soluble topping optional. Okay, depends on the nap of the sweatshirt. Tells you what size needle to use and then any other helpful info. And it has all different kinds of stuff all the way around on both sides. Invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. What would I use for a topper on a bath towel? Sharon, I use Sulky's, it's a product by Sulky. Let me get it. Okay. On top of a bath towel, I will use Sulky Solvy. Now, you want to get where it says weight down here because these look alike. Hold on. We have Ultra Solvy and Standard Solvy. See where it says Ultra, but they're the same color packages. So you got to look. That's Solvy. This is Ultra Solvy. I'll explain the difference in a second. Where are we at? We need dark brown around the taco meat. Put this back here. My threads will be everywhere. Okay. So, Ultra Solvy looks like this. It's like really heavy duty stuff. Okay. This is what you would put in a hoop. You want to hoop this. If we were making the guacamole, the little placemat thing or the little tags, could use this. I usually use Pellon's 541 washing on. And then the stuff you put on top is this stuff, okay? And it's lightweight. And it feels a lot like Glad's Press and Seal. Very lightweight, okay? Feels like Press and Seal. That's what I use. Yeah. Back in the day, before this stuff was invented, they used to just use like saran wrap. And you'd have little bits of plastic sticking out from underneath your stitches. Yes. Okay. Thank you for sharing my links, Dee Dee. I know people get stuck with the description box. Yeah. This is looking amazing. No, when you're using tearaways, so I'm going to gently tear it away around the whole outside of the taco and everything off the back. And then those little bits will come away in the wash when the towel is washed. Right? Anything that's left. I am going to, pretty sure I have to look at this color of fabric. This is my taco shell. Okay, next is my cheese. Do y'all think my cheese is too orange? Should we use a yellow? Let me see. What about this one instead? Maybe I'll use that instead. Yeah, this is a better color. You used to use Walmart bags. Yeah, whatever. Whatever works. We've come a long way in embroidery stuff for sure. And it's better products, definitely. Okay. Oh, I hear a cardinal outside. It's going to be a beautiful day here in South Texas in the 80s. Love it. Too cute. Oh my goodness. The replay is a little brutal. We had no sound at first, and then I was talking away, showing something on Brilliance without the screen being up. It was great. Did I pre-wash my towel? No. Oh, good color change choice. Color choice, yeah. This looks great. Look at my little cheese in there. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. Well, Bernadette, you live. I couldn't do that. Yeah, the colors are super cute. I had a real good time picking those out. So the fabric that I'm using for the wrap on the towel to get it to hang over, which we will do tomorrow, that fabric I've had for 10 years. It was from my very first quilting class. Was this one and this one, and I'm going to use this as the band. And so I use this with these chili peppers all over it. So cool. Let me just turn the camera to be easier than holding up fabric. So that's what I use to choose colors for everything. Kind of cool, huh? But I was very excited about it. I thought it looked great. Very excited. When and why do I use glad press and seal in embroidery or sewing? Whenever you're going to use Minky. Yep. Whenever you're going to use Minky. If you're going to sew on Minky, I have a video doing Designs by Juju's Bunny Lovey. And you absolutely need it doing that. Oh my goodness, that's so stinking cute. Okay. This is actually a placement line for fabric. I want a little bit of puff on mine. And no, I haven't done a video on how to use the embroiderer's compass. I've shown how to use it many times, but not a specific video. I'm going to go ahead and just lay this down on here. Okay. And I'm going to let it tack this down for the taco shell. And then I'm going to go back and trim around the batting. Yeah. Karen, I have links to the designs right below in the description box. If you'd use my links, I'd appreciate it. They are from Hoop Sisters. It's going to go around twice to tack this down. I'm using a quilter's cut and press for the firm surface to be able to trim that batting away. Okay. Now the next stitch on the machine is the decorative stitch around the taco shell. That's not what I want. I probably should have put the fabric down at the same time. I could have done that. Okay. I wanted a little puff in my towel. It's going to make the stitching on the taco shell kind of stand out a little bit more. I could have pre-cut the shapes, but because the final stitch is a satin stitch and not a blanket stitch, it's still going to be it'll be all the edges will be covered. Yep. I'm going to do this one more time with the fabric now. Okay. This is what batting scraps are for, y'all. It's great. Okay. So I'm going to put this back in the machine. Yeah, I wanted to get a little definition on the decorative stitching on the taco shell. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay. So I'm going to take this fabric from my taco shell. Okay. I'm going to put it right on there. Okay, I'm going to go to needle plus minus, and I'm going to back up one color stop, and let's do this again. Okay, good. Oh, that's going to be so cute. Love this. Okay, this is the same thread color as this is what I used for the cheese. I think I'm going to go. Now, what I chose for the taco is a little bit darker so that you can see the edge, but I'm rethinking that. I'm going to choose a different thread color. Okay. I got a puffy taco. Yay! Yeah, if I don't use that print and stick target paper for my design, I will stitch it upside down every single time. Tina, she says, I like how you put the whole fat quarter on there. I don't have time to be cutting out little pieces. I mean, I could, but why, right? You just have to make sure all of that extra fabric doesn't get caught up underneath. That's the only thing with that. Okay. Let's get this. Just trimming this down. Again, there's probably going to be a 3.5 millimeter satin stitch to cover these edges. I didn't look in Brilliance. So I'm thinking this brown is just not the right shade. So I'm going to grab a more mustardy color to match the shell. Okay. And that's pretty close. That's a little bit. What do you guys think of that? I've got one that's just a hair darker. Let's see. I like that was too green. I think this one may be this gold may be it right here. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, cool. Let me put this back in the machine. I love working with Hoop Sisters. Those ladies are awesome. Very cute stuff. I love all their products. They're a top-notch digitizing company for sure. Okay. Make sure there's nothing hooked up underneath. All right, we're ready to go. Oh, no, I need to change my thread color. So cute. Now you can do this in a Brother PE 770, that 5x7. You could certainly do this. That little machine will knock it out. You don't have to have one of these big fancy machines. That's why I showed you guys how to hoop. I showed you how I hoop. I've been doing this a while. Okay. So here's that heavy satin. Oh, no, it's doing the decorative stitching. I'm really glad I did a piece of batting in there. Take a look. See how distinct it is? Can you explain why I did not put anything on my taco fabric? The stitches will be seen with you. Are you talking about a topper, Charlene? That is so adorable. Oh my goodness. Well, Mama, why don't you just Just make sure you keep your scissor blade curve, the curved blade down flat on the stabilizer. This is just awesome. It's good. Pretty. I love the color change that I did on that. So I did not need a topper on top of this applique fabric because it doesn't have a nap. It's a plain piece of quilting cotton. Taco Thursday, I know. Oh, this is turning out so good. I'm going to lunch today with my girls. I think I'm going to have some Mexican food. The tacos you made yesterday look just like these. Well, good. So here's that heavy satin stitching. And this is why I've got 2 layers of medium weight tearaway underneath. Okay, so it's not puckering at all, not even a little bit. Is there a link for my red cup on my shop link? If you click any of the links that I have below the description box for the Fat Quarter shop, you can find it there. I'm not mailing this to you, Tina. I love this thing already. Mailing it to you, you're out of your mind. I think this is cool. And you can see the little bit of batting, that little cream colored portion there, but the satin stitch is wide enough it's covering it. Okay. Wondering why the presser foot is high above the fabric. It seems the fabric is jumping. No, it's not high at all. That's the default setting, as a matter of fact. You're funny, Tina. Yeah. Time for a lime. You guys, I want you to see how good this is turning out. This is why I use 2 layers. Look at that. Not a bit of puckering at all. Okay. That color change on the taco was perfect. I love it. So better too much than not enough. Had I used a cutaway stabilizer, the mesh, it'd have been a puckered mess. Okay. Okay. Back to the business at hand. I need the inside of the lime. That is cute, y'all. Super cute. I'm doing a thing with Hoop Sisters. We're collaborating later this year. They emailed me about doing something, and I said, sure, why not? Sounds like a plan, right? I got to look back in my emails and see what that was. I like the idea of the batting too. Yeah, it just really makes it stand out. It's adorable. Love it. Y'all, just like when I cook, when I embroider, I kind of do what I want. Follow the recipe to it, you know. So the thing is that you can just use if you've got software like Essentials, you can use their design to start with and then make it your own. It's very cool. You're wondering why I didn't put anything on the back of the taco fabric like Heat and Bonder SF101, Charlene. Because, okay, so if the outer final stitch on the taco was, say, a blanket stitch, then I would have pre-cut my pieces. And in order to pre-cut my pieces, I would have put SF1, not SF101, but heat and bond light on the back, and then I had to put it in the scan and cut the piece out. Okay. The heat and bond will prevent any fraying on those edges. Okay. Because when you're using a blanket stitch as your final stitch, if it frays, they'll pop out. You'll get little pokies of fabric popping out. The final stitch around the taco shell is a satin stitch, and it's 3.5 millimeters wide. So it's going to cover any kind of fray at all. So you're perfectly fine in that case to just put the quilting cotton on top of the placement line, or the batting in this case, and trim around it once it's tacked down, because the fraying will be covered by any satin stitching. Okay. Tara says, what am I doing with the chip clip? This is so cute. Oh my word. I need the rind on my lime. All it needs behind it is a margarita, y'all. Ooh. Hey. Betty Boop in here. Hey, Lisa. Oh. Yeah. Could I do this with my granddaughter's machine? Absolutely. That NQ3550W, you sure can. You could do it with this, with that little bitty, my original PE770, y'all. You don't have to have a big fancy machine. That lime, it has a lot of it has a lot of satin stitching in it, so the puckering potential is high. That's something you learn as you embroider, that no matter what it is that you're stitching on, whether it's a towel or a shirt or something like that, you really need to make sure you have got a firm foundation underneath that in your stabilizer. If you just, it helps to go and just study the design and look at it. Do I have heavy satin stitching? If so, high potential for puckering. Okay, well then, to prevent that kind of puckering, what do I need as a stabilizer underneath? Like if you look at the back of hockey jerseys, that's a really good thing too. Go into your closet and take a look at anything that's embroidered commercially and what did they use on the back of that. That's a real good way to figure that out as well. But if you look at the back of a hockey jersey, they have a, uh-oh, that didn't sound right. Nope. Listen to your machine. I've got thread break right here. I'll let y'all see what I'm doing. I'm going to get really close and snip that. Okay. Okay, get that off. Whenever that happens, you want to look at the back and make sure you don't have any drama. I don't. Doesn't look like it. It's good. This has stitched away the stabilizer on the lime. I told you it was really heavy. So it has stitched away the stabilizer. How about that? So there might be tiny bits of stabilizer in here. Just going to double check. Make sure I don't have anything going on down in there that I don't want. That looks good. I think it looks fine. Yep, that's nice and clean. Okay. Oh, there they are. Dust bunnies. Hold on. Let me see. I'm looking for a brush. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to take a Q-tip and get down in here. That's probably what caused that problem. See that? Got a piece of thread and a dust bunny. So that's fine. I got a big chunk of one here too. Okay. All right. That's probably what caused it. You can hear your machine. It kind of went click, click. And I said, uh-oh, that ain't right. Okay. And that's okay. You guys, when that happens, stop everything, trim it up, look at the back, make sure everything is right. Bobbin's feeding off correctly. Okay. All right. That was fairly painless. Things happen here. Okay. All right. So my hoop now, it looks pretty good on top. Got a little bit of thread there. Okay. All right, I'm going to go, I'm in the needle plus minus menu. I'm going to minus about 30 stitches. Maybe more. Okay. As it went over the edge of the taco shell, it just had a little bit of pull on it there. So okay, and white for the pith of the line. If you have that happen to you while you're embroidering, don't freak out. Everything's fine. You just need to, get in there, see what's going on, make sure you don't have any drama. That always pull the hoop and look at the back. Always. Sometimes you might have a bird's nest that can cause you more problems than you know if you don't clean it up before you put it back on the machine. Okay. Am I going to add another small piece of stabilizer? Nah, it's fine. It's got plenty of... So the stabilizer... So look at what it's stitching on now. Okay, so now the stabilizer's... That sounded wrong. Yeah. Okay. My thread is shredding. I'm going to slow this down. Yeah. All right. Where's my little snips? Here. So I like to use embroidery. These are eyebrow tweezers, the little pointy ones from Revlon. They're really good. They will allow me to get little tiny pieces of thread and hold on to them, and I can snip them off. These kind of broke. Let's see. Nice and clean. All right. That right? That looks good. Okay. Get back. That's okay. All right. All righty. I'm going to go into my menu here and do my settings. And let's see. I'm at max speed of 600 right now. I'm going to back it down to about 400. Okay. And I'm going to go backwards. Did it again. Brace the foot. It's because it is so dense right here, you guys. The stitching is so dense. I need to trim these little loops without trimming the thread. I'm also going to go in here. That's better. I've got a 9014 in there, Betsy. No sound. She's over here waiting for me. You're missing breakfast. Daddy could feed you, you know. He's up. It was just having a fit. Yeah, don't be afraid to stop your machine in the middle, readjust some things. You can hear it. That's a heavy, heavy stitch. Fill. Yeah. Now you want a taco breakfast? Yeah. Ooh, that is dense. But it looks good. Okay. Time for the lettering. And I have this fabulous red for this. That looks really good. That'll work. Now, if you wanted, see the other thing you could do, nah, not really. You could use a cutaway, a heavyweight cutaway, but then that will remain on the back of the towel, right? And that's not the point. Okay. I'm going to go back into my stitch settings and I'm going to go to the speed and bump it back up to like 600. All right. Ready, set, go. There, Daddy doll.
Are you done?
No, I'm still stitching. You ready to go? Okay.
That's the echo. The feet show we get keep going a little bit farther down.
Okay, I'll finish up and be right there and get you. Yeah, okay. I'll be done. Yep.
Are you online?
I am. I'm live. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You want to say good morning to everybody? There you go.
Good morning, everybody. She's slow on Embroidery Thursday.
Embroidery Thursdays run long. Yeah, I'm
Y'all
gonna
have a good day.
Okay, I'll be there in a little bit. Love you guys. Don't hit no cows. He's gonna go get tint done on the Bronco. So I gotta go leave and follow him in the Jeep. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and we will see the rest of this tomorrow. It will be a good weekend to go to the coast. I know Keith said, I'm going with or without you. Yeah. Thanks for letting in the fly, Keith. Love it. This stitching is so cool, you guys. Look at this. I want to show you. Whoop, wrong way. Look at that. That looks amazing. So the lettering is turning out absolutely gorgeous. So definitely glad I used 2 layers of medium weight tearaway behind this. So cute. On there. I love it. So I'll finish this up. I got to go follow him, and I will finish this up when I get home today. And then I will show you tomorrow how I'm going to make the band to put on it, and then how it'll look on my oven. So anyway, I got to run. You guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate that. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're watching on your TV, hit the channel up button on your TV remote, and that gives a thumbs up as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Giveaway Friday. We'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.